if you're going to call yourself a hunter, deer hunter, and I mean, we're not talking about just somebody who kills just to kill. That's a poacher. That's not a hunter. I'm talking about a deer hunter, somebody who loves the woods, loves everything about it, loves the fall season. Why do I like sitting in the woods by myself alone watching deer? It's everything that goes with it. It's the safety net they feel, the birds chirping, the critters walking, the squirrels jumping. I mean, all of that goes into it. So protect it. Like, really invest and really protect it, because if not, then our kids and our kids' kids are not going to have. They're not going to get to enjoy it. Into these pines and into this field here. So we're going to do some recon, put a camera out, bag of yellow gold, and see what's coming. See what's new to our route. Put it on this road though, so they don't have any excuse. They're going to cross it anyway. They might as well cross it in front of my camera. All through there, you can see the opening in the woods over there. Crossing back and forth all whole 100 yards right here. It's just crossing everywhere. So we're gonna try to hone in on them crossing in one spot in front of my camera. You used to couldn't see. I had to stand up there. You couldn't see past this spot, but I really opened it up on both sides. You probably gained 50 yards.
Main focuses early bow season, you're saying shade, foliage, water.
Yeah, those deer's range in the early season, a big buck's range is probably 200 or 300 yards, especially in the 80s and 90s. I mean, it starts to get in the 70s, you know, he'll venture out, but right now those deer are not traveling far. So if you've got deer on camera in daylight, that deer is living nearby. So the less you can stay in there checking that camera, if you see him in there at daylight, that especially more than once.
Yeah.
That's why cell cameras are so key. Stay out of there, because he's living nearby. And the last thing you want to do is go in there at lunchtime and check your camera when it's 75 degrees and he's up in the middle of the field munching, because it will happen. This time of the year, these summer patterns, they're used to getting up and roaming around every 2 or 3 hours eating. Right here. See that cut over? It's all right there. Tree line right here. And this road is paved, so they would come out of the cut over, walking this flat stuff, find a good place to cross, like right here. And you can see, I mean, they're just going through this fence. Right there, they're going under the fence, does and stuff. I bet if you looked along here, you'd find sheds.
Where are you putting the camera?
So the sun is coming up this way. It's gonna sit over there. You never want to put a camera in direct sunlight of moving time. So we're gonna either face it this way we're going to place it this way. I kind of want to put it like down there and facing this way, like that tree right there. I'm going to move this blade over stuff and then feed where the cart is. That way you can see this whole lane. And you never have to worry about a big beam of sun in your picture. So I'm going to move this cart because we want to feed where you're at. Show you right there. Really mad whenever you got a real nice buck in the picture and there's a humongous glare. You didn't do your homework. So this is not something I rely on. This is strictly for analysis. Pour it out, easy, cheap. See what's in the area, because if they're in the area, they're going to cross and pick on some of this. Critters come by, we get to see what they are. Then, if it's worth it, I'll till this up and I'll plant it here in a couple weeks. Because it's a pretty deadly spot right here. It's a good little stage up space.
I mean, obviously, as we know, success to seeing mature bucks in daylight is probably one of the most important things, is just staying the hell out of there.
It's very important. It's very important. I mean, just let nature do what nature wants to do. We're an outside source in this. We're trying to get involved, and we, as humans, we think, oh, well, if I can get in there and do my part, I can make it better. I can make it, great for these deer. They're going to love me there. I can feed them and all this. You're ruining it. Let them do what they naturally want to do. There's all this greenery that they enjoy eating naturally.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to have your bag of corn or your sweet feed. Yeah, that's great if you can do that without disturbing stuff.
Right.
They're going to thank you for it. But being smart and being very precise in your movements and where you spend your time is way better for everybody than trying to just go in there every couple of days a week.
Yeah.
Pour corn or pour feed out in a spot. Just let it unfold. I mean, you may not get that deer the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, but you'll eventually get him because you're patient and consistent. I mean, Alabama season's like 4 months long.
Yeah.
Just be patient. It'll come.
Yeah. Be patient. Stay out of there until it's prime. Whether it's most important, the weather.
Yeah.
The wind, the temperature, different things like that. But also as you progress into the season,
yeah,
into rut and things like that. I mean, your success rate is going to, as we believe, it's going to skyrocket if you do those things.
Right.
We're going now.
So I want to go get the piece of the barn. Probably drive the tractor on the other end. I got 2 more bags of feed I want to put in that feeder, in the feeder field. Put a fresh 6-volt battery on the feeder because it's dead as a doornail. And put some straps on a stand that I set up the other day that's right past that. I'll let you look at that. Tell me what you think on it.
So for you manage 2 smaller pieces of property. One's about, what'd you say, 40, 50 acres?
Yeah, one's a pretty small chunk. Yeah, it's about 40 or 50.
And this one's 160.
Yeah, this one we're on here is a 160 block. The surrounding areas are basically pasture land, big cutover, and yeah, there's a lot of farmland around me. So I have probably a 160 acre block of some of the only hardwoods in the area, which means that I do hold a lot of the deer in the area, and I know that, and they want to live here. So that's why I stress to myself and to others that hunt with me, be on your toes. Try to be a fly on the wall in this place, because these deer want to live here. You have the ticket. You've got the only hardwood thicket around.
Yeah.
You know, because if you push these deer out of here, I mean, it could be another mile before they feel safe and comfortable again. Yeah. So, Baylor and I, last year we had that big pine that's over there. We had one right behind it. You can kind of see both sides. We had a lot of deer coming this way. They would come. I mean, all of that was just tore up last year. Crazy amount of sign. There's another body of water right here, kind of a creek that flows in between the two of them. So a lot of that sign was all along this creek edge. Crepes, rubs, just crazy amount of sign. So I put something right here that's on this north side of getting it further away from the feeder field, because I obviously have a stand there set up. So something here that you can kind of get when they're transitioning into that with a bow. It's kind of my thought. So obviously it's a single man, so if we film it, we may have to either get somebody above or put somebody in a neighboring tree or something, but I don't know. I think or just you know, maybe a self-film spot, but I don't know if I want to put some straps on it, because it is sketchy right now, because let's put some little pull tight stuff on it. Hopefully these straps are long enough. Well, the main point of why I put it this way too is because a lot of sign was that way, and you will be away, you know, your back will be to the tree, so you've got a lot of that tree cover. So if they're behind you, and you see how thick it is in there, and a lot of it's cypress, so they're not sitting there, they can't see much through here. I don't think you get picked off behind you, but you would definitely get picked off up here, because the elevation is already 12 feet higher, so I mean, they're almost looking you in the face if they're up there.
Yeah, walking down from up here,
yeah,
they'll get you.
Yeah, they would pick you off. So
is this going to be something you're going to use during rut?
This general area, yes.
But maybe not this setup.
Yeah, so this is a main travel spot. This, basically what we've got is hardwoods on this side, pines on this side, and then you've got a natural creek that runs in between it. So it's already a transition, like a big transition. So does a lot of time will stage up in this feeding area. Bed on the other side was where that cutover is, and so they're traveling this way. You got bucks. A lot of time they will funnel this side, walk this road, travel this way, cutting off these, trying to catch a hot doe. But even in non-rut, I mean, they're just traveling back and forth, back and forth. So going from food to bedding, and this is just a natural spot to catch them all year long, really. You know, we've seen most of the deer in this area travel and cut across this spot in the past. So, and when you really break it down, I mean, that's why it's the easiest accessible spot, because it's marshy down there. Not right now because it's been dry for 2 weeks, but typically transition spot between hardwoods and pines, and then it's the crossing route between food and bedding. So I mean, it's like, of course there's deer here, you know.
Obviously, I think you feel like the most important thing in land management is allowing it to just stay untouched.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, there are things that I'm not naive to say that you've got to do your stuff with predators. You've got to kill does. I mean, if you're only killing bucks year after year after year after year after year, and you never kill any does, you're going to eventually start seeing less bucks, because there's more does in the area. There's less reason for a buck to get up on his feet during the rut to find does, because there's just does everywhere. Yeah, so I mean, there is a good balance in that. So you got big hill there with old timber up top. so it kind of funnels down into this little pinch of, I guess it's really bottom. It stays wet a lot of the time, but those deer will come around the ridge, empty down into these fields, and then they'll kind of mosey on into this thick stuff when they get through feeding. But this is a big enough field to where, you know, they know it's there, they sense it as a food source, they use it. It's not just like a pass-through type of field. This is probably one of the bigger fields on the place. So we've always had good luck, so we try to keep it big and wide. But you know how trees do, they like to grow towards the sun, so they keep making it smaller. That's the tree I'm thinking about climbing.
Where at?
Right there on that point. See those cluster of oaks? Whatever those are right there, maples, or maybe a sweet gum tree actually. Anyway, that smaller one, because it's kind of hidden and you can see all of that, all of this, and back here I think I can get about 25 feet up and still see everything. I like to get pretty high if I can help it. Helps on wind, helps on sight, but you don't want to get too high in the fall because foliage can be a problem then. But we'll see. I may change my plan up at 180 degrees at that time.
There's that preparation, that planning, and everything when it comes together. That's the reward. But something I've been saying here lately, you know, the reward's great, but that reward doesn't come without the sacrifice. And you know, that plays right into what you're saying. If you call yourself a hunter, whether that's turkey hunting or deer hunting, protect the things that you love, you know. And if you love your kids and want to pass this thing on, then guys, we got to be mindful of it. You know, we can't just go out here and just, well, I tagged out this year and I can brag about it, or whatever that may be. I grew up around a lot of guys that, you know, I didn't learn anything from them. The only thing I learned was that they were killers.
Yeah.
And they tagged out every year. However that may be. Whether it was legal or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But some way, somehow, they found a way to tag out every year.
Yeah.
That has never been my goal. My goal has always been the story. You know, the commitment to it is. I can go back in the memories of my daughter at 6 years old killing her first turkey, and some of the memories that I've made with Brandon Masters, some of the hunts that we've had, and you killing your first gobbler, you know, being there with you, that was huge for me. And I imagine when it comes time and I sling an arrow at a 5-6 year old buck and you're here with me, I imagine that'll be a big deal for you when you planned it, you set it up, and you wanted it to be successful for somebody that you care about, you know. And whether that's friends, family, whatever, it's still the story. It's still passing it on some way, somehow.
O'clock. Be a good time.
It's getting warm, isn't it?
Yeah. So guys, if you tag out this year, say it's early, say you've got half the season left, take somebody you know that never hunts. Take somebody who doesn't have the opportunities that you have. Say, hey, look, man, I can't kill a deer, but you know what? I can take you, and you can.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, you know, not even your place. Maybe you go to public land and, you know, you don't want to, say you killed 2 shooters, those are the only shooters you've got. Okay, go shoot a doe. Take somebody to enjoy and just don't just be like, oh, yeah, I killed my share, you know, and don't pass it on. Like, if you truly love hunting, then you'll do anything and everything to pass on your mindset and your love for it, and just try to get everybody on the same page. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of guys out there to watch. There's a lot smarter people than us on this. We just love the outdoors. We love hunting, and we just want to, you know, just express that to you guys. And I hope it shows. Like, we really do care about what we do. We love our trade. You know, and it's something that we're really, really passionate about. And, we try to relay that to you guys. So.
Absolutely. Let's go get some work.
All right. The sun was beaming on this over that. It was, and it was getting me hot too.